Hi, I'm Priscilla P. Baker, and I'll be discussing the command NASDAQ space ANO. So, NASDAQ space ANO show active listing imports and their associated processes IDs. For example, we have port 88 here. Port 88 running on a PID 736 in a listening state. Port 88 is used by Kimbros for secure network authentication in Windows domain environment. Next, we have port 445. Port 445 is also in a listening state. Port 445 is used by SMB, server message block, for Windows file and printing sharing across the network. Now, I open services tool in Server Manager. The two key network services running here are DNS client and DHCP server. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of the DNS client. The DNS client is a service that resolved and crashes domain name into IP addresses, so the system application can reach host name on the network. So I just give a brief overview about DNS client. But in the services file, we also have a description here. Let me just read it very quick. The DNS client service, DN crash, since domain name system DNS requires crashes, query result, and register the computer full name on the network. This service is not stoppable. Alright. So now we move to the DHCP client. The DHCP client is a service that handles dynamic IP configurations by requesting and maintaining IP address assignments from a DHCP server. So here in the description, they also say something about the DHCP client. Registers and update IP addresses. They are talking about the work of the DHCP client. It registers and update IP addresses and DNS records for this computer. If this service is stopped, the computer will not receive dynamic IP addresses and DNS updates. If this service is disabled, any services that explicitly depend on it will fail to start. I open Windows Defender Firewall with advanced security. I created an inbound rule allowing TCP traffic. I created an inbound rule allowing TCP traffic on port 50,000 and an outbound rule allowing TCP traffic on port 50,000. To demonstrate toggling, I will just press this arrow because that's how it was. I will just press this drop down button and enable rule. I click enable rule. If I want to disable this rule, the rule is currently enabled. If I want to disable this rule, I will just click here and it will change to disable. For the final step, I opened Task Scheduler and created a new basic task named Daily Windows Update Check. I set the trigger to run daily and configure the action to run user client start scan to trigger a system update check. As you can see here in the task scheduler library, as you can see here in the task scheduler library, the task is now active and ready.